Dude, I swear that coyote's got our number, man. That sucker skipped out on death. How many times now? We can kill coyotes all over this state, and I can't kill one right here in my backyard. That's ridiculous. Between gun malfunctions, getting busted, no batteries, I mean, good grief. After all that, I mean, by now he's got to be the smartest coyote in the county. Seriously, how many times is that now? How many more is it going to take us to finally kill him? A few weeks back, someone asked if we skin all our coyotes. Well, in a roundabout way, I explained here in Texas, the market for a coyote hide is hardly worth the time it takes to actually skin one. Especially when you're pretty slow at it like me. One thing's certain, you won't catch me entering one of those speed skinning competitions anytime soon. I usually just take my time and try to do it right. By then, his curiosity led him to ask another question. Well, if they aren't worth anything, why do I see you skinning them from time to time? And how do you pick which one you want to skin, he asked. Well, I simply replied, their value can't be measured in dollars and cents. To me, it's all about the chase and what I had to do to get it. Anyone who hunts long enough will eventually bump into an animal that for one reason or another will give you a run for your money. It was almost as if that one specific animal that got away was destined to haunt your memories, and all you could do is just pray you someday get another chance. As ridiculous as it sounds, my nemesis was a coyote living right in my own backyard, who spent most of his nights milling around an old pile of concrete next to my neighbor's house. Who'd have thunk it? This encounter is where this story all started. Those are concrete slabs behind him, and I would grow to learn that was his domain. Every single time he made an appearance, it was in the exact same spot, right in front of that concrete, which happens to be less than 200 yards from my back doorstep.
Get him right there, I guess.
The click you just heard was a misfire that marked the beginning of a long string of crazy mishaps that ultimately led to his escape over and over. To show the true irony in this situation, pay close attention to the pipe gate where the truck is parked next to my house. You'll understand why a little later. I knew he had to be living somewhere close by, and sure enough, one night I watched him leave the concrete, cross the road, and bed down in my neighbor's haylot. So Matt and I decided to put on a stalk and see if we could make it all the way to the hay without getting busted. Everything was going great until I had to make just one last move of my camera. Then this happens. The reason I had to move was to give Matt enough room to slide his gun between myself and a hay bale, just to be able to shoot. He's not even able to see this coyote yet. Of course, I'm telling him to go, but it was already too late.
I don't have him.
He's gone.
We had been made. Even at this early stage, I was already beginning to feel like this coyote had my number. The closest we ever came to actually killing him was one night after getting home from a long night's hunt. I always checked every time I pulled into my driveway, and sure enough, on this particular night, we caught him out in the pasture where he always is.
That's gotta be him, Gary. He's exactly where he's been for the last 3 months. Right in front of that concrete. Here, have a look.
He looks big.
He is big. He's smart, too.
You're gonna have to figure out a way to get him killed before your wife shoots you.
That ain't no joke.
We hunt coyotes everywhere, and we can't kill them around our house. You can't get him with thermal because he's busted you.
Yeah, I've tried walking across this pasture, I think 2 or 3 different times, and both times my neighbor's got a big light on over there next to his barn, and I guess he's picking me up in that light going across that field. I've never tried calling him like we usually do, but let's do this. Let's back up. You see that pipe gate back there?
Yes.
Let's just back up and go pull in right in front of that gate and see what happens.
I think the wind's perfect for us.
He's far enough over there right now, I don't think it's gonna booger him either.
Well, let's introduce him to the light. See if he wants to play.
Cross your fingers, this joker's smart.
I had my reservations whether this would work or not, knowing the history with this coyote, but we had to try. If you'll remember back to the pipe gate I mentioned earlier, it's about to become the site of yet another crazy mishap. Let's just say we were both tired, we'd been out all night, and forgot the most important item a thermal weapon sight needs to function. The particular thermal unit we use to shoot with takes 2 CR-123 batteries, and I always check to make sure that they're fresh before a stand. And I always carry 2 more spare batteries in my pocket just for backup, all except for this one single solitary moment of mental breakdown. They say timing is everything. Well, we're about to find out in the worst possible way that saying works both ways.
He's coming, Gary.
Yes, he is. Coming hard.
I got him.
Okay. The thermal's dead.
What?
The thermal's dead.
You got batteries?
No, I don't.
You kidding me?
No. You got some on you?
No.
There's some in the truck.
Crap. There ain't no way you're gonna be able to get it in time, Gary.
You got to be kidding me.
Let him go.
This was absolutely gut-wrenching to have to watch this coyote come in, pose for the camera, and we had nothing in the rig to kill him with. I was in complete disbelief. The one time we needed to be on our game, we had completely dropped the ball. In all the years we've been filming and killing coyotes, I can't remember one single time this had ever happened. We had him dead to rights at 30 yards, but it was as if the angel of death himself stepped in, shook his finger, and said, "Not this time, Chris." It was such a letdown. I was just speechless.
What are the stinking odds? It had battery when we left the house.
I know.
It ain't your fault.
Well, it had
I'm not
battery.
mad at you. It's not your fault.
Well, it had battery whenever we got here because I looked through it. I looked through it and laid it down. It just died on the time that we started calling. It was just in that minute that it died.
I'm getting frustrated.
Frustrated was the nice way to put it. When you kill coyotes all over the state and you somehow can't manage to kill one living right in your backyard, it really makes you question what you're doing wrong. All I could do at this point was go back to the drawing board and come up with yet another way to hopefully get him. We had tried just about everything to get this coyote killed on camera for you guys to enjoy, but every time he somehow managed to slip through our fingers. As upset as I was at myself for letting this happen, I still knew in my gut at some point he's gonna wear out his welcome and slip up just one time and his luck would run out. We had used just about every tactic in the book to try and get this coyote down, all except for one. Have you ever had that feeling in your gut that something good was about to happen? Like an intuition that something's coming, you don't know what, but you can just feel it before it actually happens? Well, one night I had one of those voices telling me to walk outside and take a look off my back porch. Well, I listened to that voice, and as soon as I did, it was as if the heavens opened up and God dropped a gift right out of the sky. It was the one thing I hadn't used yet, and like it was meant to be, this pig was no more than 100 yards from that pile of concrete the smartest coyote in the county liked to call home. The strangest part is, this pig was standing in the very same game trail that coyote used to travel across the pasture, and it just happened to be right upwind of his concrete. I truly felt in my gut, if I killed this pig, I was meant to kill the coyote I had been chasing for so long. I fully believe good things come to those who wait, and believe you me, I had waited long enough to finally put a bullet in this coyote. That coyote's been knocking on death's doorstep way too long now, and Lord willing, I'm about to finally answer. Sometimes I feel it's just meant to be. Well, it appears my pig has also attracted 2 other younger coyotes, but this sucker wasn't about to let him have a piece of it. They didn't realize whose turf they were stepping on. You know, the truth be told, I'm glad he ran them off. I'd much rather try to sneak up on 1 set of eyes rather than 3. I had invested all my time and efforts into killing this one coyote and wasn't about to get in a hurry now. As I inched my way closer and closer, the real size of this sucker became more apparent. You could tell he was a very wise animal because every little noise around him put him on alert. Even the frogs in the pond next to me were a potential threat. I had reached the point of no return, where every footfall was critical and the margin for error was non-existent. One thing I want you to notice is how my thermal weapon sight is completely detached off the gun the entire time prior to being ready to shoot. Having enough confidence in a mount to be able to do that is something every hunter who likes to hunt at night needs to be able to do. They're called Zero Delta, and it's the only weapon sight mount out there with true return to zero capability on the market. Believe you me, if I can trust it on this coyote, you can bet I'm a believer. All I needed was for him to stick his head up just one last time.
Finally got you, sucker. Smartest coyote in the county is done. Yes.
This was a special moment, being able to finally put my hands on this coyote. After such a long history with him, it was finally over.
Finally. Oh my gosh, that is a big coyote. No wonder you were so hard to kill. You've been around the block a time or two.
Out of all the coyotes we've ever killed, this one ranks at the top of the list as the hardest to actually kill. And the chase that finally got us there is one I'll never forget.
Telling you what, I'll be honest, for the longest, I was the biggest critic for taking your weapon sight on and off your gun once you've got it dialed in. But that Zero Delta mount, that mount is by far, hands down, the most effective little piece of equipment that we have. For you to be able to take that on and off your gun in seconds, that's all it takes right there. Tyler introduced me to these mounts, and I was skeptical, but he told me take the thing on and off the gun and shoot it several times, and I promise you that thing's gonna be dead on. And man, I tried it, and I'm a believer. Thank you, Zero Delta. Until I forced myself to literally go get on a bench, take the scope off the gun, put it back on, shoot the gun, and repeat that multiple times and witness that it's dead on every single time, you would not have been able to convince me that that right there was possible. You know, if you're trying to walk up on something and you're having to you're holding the gun up to your face like that, I don't care how tough you are, within 5 to 10 minutes, you're gonna be completely wore out. That right there is the solution to the problem. Zero Delta, worth every penny. Man, that's a big old coyote. Good Lord, that's a freaking big old coyote. Oh my gosh. Oh my word. Ain't no wonder that sucker was so hard to kill. I'm a pretty big old boy. Holy moly. All right, let's go for a ride. Don't go nowhere.
I tried to answer his questions as best I could as to why I skinned this coyote but not that one. But until he's walked a mile in my shoes and danced the dance with this coyote, he'll never truly understand what value this coyote means to me. Unless he had been there each and every time he got away, all he can see is a normal old coyote just like all the rest that wasn't even really worth skinning. But the hidden value is one only I can fully understand. Like I said, the value can't be measured in dollars and cents. To me, it can only be measured by the chase and the 7 times it took to finally kill him.